Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Rhea Norwood about Heartstopper, which, if you didn't know, is available now on Netflix worldwide. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, we talked about it before we started. I mean, I'm sure, I feel like this last week or so has been a little crazy for you, right?
Yeah, it's been intense. Like the reception of the show has been so. I had no expectations of what it would be, but yeah, it's been incredible. People love it
worldwide too, right? Like the Netflix factor is just like you put something out there, you disseminate it to the world worldwide, and then instantly the world has access to it, which is pretty amazing.
Me and my mates were like watching a couple of my scenes and like putting me in the different languages I've been like watching me speak different languages. Like, oh,
I know it is so crazy. Now it's interesting because Heartstopper, it was a graphic novel. So that's pretty cool because the adaptations are pretty cool. Now, your character, Imogen, is not in the graphic novels. No. So is that, so like, what did you kind of know about the series like before? And like, what's that like kind of being a character that's like not familiar from the graphic novels?
Yeah, so I didn't read the comic books until before my recall. So I didn't know about them before when I first applied for the audition. But when I did, obviously, I fell in love with them because they're just so beautiful and wholesome. But yeah, Imogen not being in the novels was I didn't try and think about it too much. I think there's a pressure to trying to play these iconic characters, which obviously the cast have done so beautifully well. And I guess it's a pressure to sort of bring something new that's worthy of, joining the universe that Alice has created. But I didn't try to get in my head about that. It wasn't something I really considered too much.
Oh, absolutely. It's always exciting when that happens. But like also, it's always exciting too where you get the role and everything. And it's like, okay, you're playing Imogen, Heartstopper, let's go. But before that, obviously, is the audition. What was the audition process like for you? Did you audition for Imogen?
No, so basically, because there was the open casting call, which I think was a call out for Tao, Isaac, Charlie, and Darcy. Yeah. So I originally applied for Darcy actually, and I did a self-tape for her, a little monologue. And then I sort of didn't hear back. I was like, forget about it. I was still in my second year of drama school, so I wasn't really thinking about too much about getting jobs or anything. Okay. And then I got asked to recall for Imogen, which was amazing. And I met with Eros, the director, and Patrick and Alice, and the lovely Lucy Allen from Daniel Edwards casting on Zoom, and did some scenes and stuff, and then I got cast, and like completely unexpected. I know it's a cliche, like I didn't think I was going to get it, but it generally just like took me by surprise.
It's so crazy because the YA, like the young adult stuff on Netflix, hits hard and everything. I remember like seeing the announcement for Heartstopper, like the trailer, and I'm just like, it's gonna be posted on Netflix, and then it's gonna look like I knew it. Like I'm not, to be completely honest with you, like this is my job, right? In terms of interviewing people, watching stuff, seeing. I'm not surprised, like that the reception's been the way it is. I'm just saying maybe you guys are, but I'm not. If I'm gonna be honest with you, it was just something that was, I think, people got excited when they saw the trailer for it.
Yeah, I think that's when we began to sort of realize, like, because like I say, I didn't know too much about the fan base that Alice had either when I was filming and stuff. And when we were filming, it was just like I was a kid in the candy shop, like, wow, I'm on set. This is amazing. I'm acting. This is so cool.
I know.
You don't think too much about like how it's going to be received. You're just like enjoying the moment of it.
Well, yeah, because you're kind of like enjoying the moment of making friends with people on set, kind of having that, and then you're kind of playing the waiting game, because then it's kind of like up to the people to decide what they think about it, and the people love it. You know what I mean? So I'm so happy for you. So if we dive into the character of Imogen a little bit more, Rhea, I find it interesting because the character, adds a lot of tension and a drama when it comes to Nick and his storyline and everything. So I'm just curious, in terms of the character of Imogen, we talked about before, like fan favorite or like fan favorite to dislike, you know what I mean? What are some aspects of this character you enjoy when it comes to like portraying her?
Yeah, I love Imogen.
Yep.
It's been so fascinating, like when we talked about the reception of her. People can't put her in a box. People can't decide whether they love her or they hate her. She's a bit like Marmite, I guess. And I think that's a really lovely place to sit with a character, someone who's quite morally grey, you can't quite place. That's really interesting. I think the thing I enjoy about Imogen is she's really complicated.
Yeah.
I think on paper, she could be this sort of classic sort of popular girl, mean girl trope. Mm-hmm. I felt we'd seen that before, and so did Alice and Patrick and everybody, and that wasn't something that I wanted particularly I really wanted to just go down. I think that we've seen it. I was never popular at school either, so like they cast somebody who's like had no experience in being like the popular girl. I saw getting like when I got my recall for Imogen, like she was like popular girl, and I was like, have my chance to like redo secondary school then. And
well, that's a good segue because there were some moments of Imogen that have just instantly become kind of fan favorite moments in terms of like memes and fan edits. And like, what's that like for you to see? Like, it's crazy. Like all the fan edits and like the memes and the TikToks, like it's crazy.
You know what? I love a good meme. Like I really enjoy meme. I enjoy the TikToks. So I see them. I've seen all of them. Like be under no illusions. I've watched them all. It's amazing. Like it's great fun. It's really weird though. Like seeing your face associated with something like a particular character or line, especially when that doesn't necessarily align with your own way of being. Yeah. Shall we say? So that's really interesting. You don't really think about it like the other side of acting, which is people associating an actor with a specific character or role. Especially if this is my first role, I've got no other material to go off for other people to see me in. So,
but have you done like plays or like short films before this at all, or is this legit like your first job?
So it was my first professional acting
professional
job. Yeah, because I'm still at drama school. I'm still in my third year actually. So I'm still doing plays at the moment and stuff, which is obviously great fun.
Well, that's where you learn your craft, like the theater. And you know what's funny? There's some people that it's the other way around. There's some people that didn't do theater that are doing like movies and TV shows, and they're like, oh, like I'm interested in going on the theater now to do theater now. Like it's the other way. Like people are very interested in the theater now. I feel like Rhea.
Yeah, I mean, I think particularly like post-pandemic and stuff. I think there is a desire for a space, collective live space for being in an audience with people. Mm-hmm. There's a real beauty in that. I think particularly in England, like the actor training that we have in England is very much theatre focused. Yeah. Which meant that when I was on set for the first time, it definitely was a bit of a baptism of fire because I'd never been on a set before, and I'd done the theatre, and like drama schools are great for sort of teaching you how to act on stage or act in the best of circumstances. I remember going on to my first day of set, and I went to like walk and like just go and put my bag down in front of Nick or something, and I like did this massive wide theatre walk, and it was like went out of shot, and I was like, right, I'm gonna have to learn quick about this camera craft.
Well, there's a lot of characters, like there's a lot of like it's yourself. There's other people as well where it's their first professional gig as well. So I feel like because you know how I said like I had an idea that it was going to be a big, like very popular and everything. Like, did you guys talk a little bit about the idea, like the possibility of it blowing up, or did you seriously kind of not really think about the reception?
Like there were definitely probably conversations and stuff. I think we all knew that, you know, as an actor, when you read a script, you know whether it's a good material or not. And Alice has done an incredible job of writing such a beautiful and wholesome and needed script. Mm-hmm. And then everybody working on the production of it, like the actors, the set designers, literally everybody was firstly the most lovely people ever, and secondly just amazing at what they do. So there was this collective feeling like, oh, we're making something good. But Nah, you don't really.
No, you don't really know.
You don't know, especially I'm such a novice. I literally don't know what to expect by anything.
Well, the Instagram accounts, they're not stopping right now. They're not. Like the whole cast, like they're just like, it doesn't feel like at this point now where it's just kind of like just like this, like it's not going, like it's just like, it just seems like they're like all your followers are like everyone in the cast, just it's not stopping basically at this point.
I guess with that, more and more people watching the show, people are loving it. It's great, and
it's overwhelming, right?
Yeah, it is in a lovely way, mostly.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Getting back to what we were saying in the beginning too, like the fact, like the global reception of it, is it something like have you talked to your family and friends just about the global kind of reception overall? And a lot of people are saying, like, it's not even people saying like, oh, I love the show, right? It's people saying, oh, I can relate to the show, or oh, like it reminds me of really important things that happened, you know, when I was in high school. Like the relatability aspect of it, like what is that like? Kind of talking to your family and friends in terms of people not only loving it but relating to Heartstopper as well, Rhea.
I think the stories within Heartstopper, the individual narratives, they're all so specific, but so, like we say, relatable.
Yeah.
I think that everybody, regardless of sexuality, gender, age, race, class, anything, that I think you can find a story, you can find a narrative in Heartstopper that you can relate to.
Yep.
And I think as a world, we're in this time of sort of coming out of a lot of tension and, you know, anger from the pandemic and anger with politicians and, you know, the climate crisis. We're in a really interesting time of global history, I think.
Yes.
I think people need something like Heartstopper because it's ultimately it's a love story, it's a positive story, it's about being true to yourself and in a world that necessarily doesn't allow you to be so quite readily.
And to add to that, it also has a very good soundtrack.
So good. I've literally been like listening to them like all day.
There's one that I was listening to. It was a song in one of the fight scenes. I want to tell you about it because I was listening to it. It's called Smoky Eyes by Lincoln.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure I've listened to it.
It's like one of the fight scenes. Like, and everyone's like, oh my God, fight. It's like one of the fight scenes. It's awesome. It's really good. Because like that's such a cool thing I feel like about shows. Like you watch a show and you're like, oh, it's a good scene, but wait a second, this is a good song. Like I want to go listen to the song. Like what song is this?
Every element of Heartstopper is top notch, and the soundtrack, Alison Patrick did an incredible job with, like choosing the song.
Before we wrap up, you kind of talked a little bit about, you kind of answered this question a little bit, but I want you to add a little bit more. You know, so Heartstopper is available to watch on Netflix now. All the episodes. Yep. When they get a chance to watch it, what are you hoping they get from it, takeaway wise, Rhea?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Two things. I'm going to say two things. One is that LGBTQ plus stories can be positive and beautiful.
Yep.
And have to solely focus on negative histories and stuff like that.
Yep.
Secondly, I think every individual can take away that there is a place to be yourself, regardless of anything in the world, and you will find your people, and you are accepted. I think that's the main thing.
No, that's really well said. No, absolutely. Rhea, thank you so much for coming on Popternative. It was so great chatting with you.
Thanks for having me.
Your first interview.
Yeah.
So this is so awesome. So Heartstopper is available now on Netflix. So if they haven't had a chance to watch it, they can go watch it. But you know what they could do, right, Rhea? Like if they have watched it, you know what they could do, right? They could watch it again.
Yeah.
They could do that, absolutely. And your Instagram, where can they follow you on this Instagram? They haven't already, because there's a chance that they might have already.
You can follow me at Rhea.Norwood.
Amazing. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Pop10 for previous episodes. You're going to be able to catch Rhea Norwood as Imogen in Heartstopper, streaming now worldwide on Netflix. Until next time, this is Rhea and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.